Hey guys, welcome to the channel, guys. We are live. I have something really special today, and I am going to answer comments at the end. If there's any questions at the end, I'm going to wait a little while to see, just until somebody come in a little minute. Just waiting a couple of minutes. Shout out to you guys. Welcome. My name is Elizabeth from Elizabeth Magical Garden, a magical garden reaching for the stars, guys. I am going to be going live on Wednesdays, so be sure to subscribe to this channel so you'll be privy because I have something special for this episode today. So be sure to buckle up, get your beverage, get a beverage, get some tea, maybe some snacks, and join the ride. So, I've been doing so much deep work, guys, and I am so excited to share some of the things that I've been coming across, some of the things that you guys been asking for as well on different platforms. So, I decided to go live. Okay, so welcome to your transformation story. Let's talk about something super important: loving yourself. Guys, this journey, I've always been talking about self love, the nervous system, and I felt like it is imperative for me to break down some of the things that I feel that would allow you to get on a positive journey. Here we are in March. Spring is in the air. Welcome to the live. Be sure to leave a comment. Say hey. Say let me know that you are able to hear me. So just put yes in the comments. So I am going to disclose some things that I feel like is going to help you in your journey. Shout out to the replays as well. You can still benefit from all of this because, this is a live that will be on this platform. So you will be able to gather and get all the information that you need in the future. So let's talk about something so important, which is self-love. This presentation will help you understand why it matters and how to start today. So, what is self love? The simple definition: self love means treating yourself with kindness, just like you would treat your best friend. A lot of times we find ourselves treating people better than ourselves. We find ourselves treating people in a way that is more special than your average, right? We take time to love on others. We take time to give to others. We take time to even take care of our homes, be there for our coworkers. But what about yourself? When was the last time you did something special for yourself? Right? When was the last time you did something kind for yourself? Just like you would your friend. So I'm going to switch over to another camera right now because I want to draw out a couple of things. So for the people that are listening to this episode, be sure to head on over to Elizabeth Magical Garden podcast where you can see the pictures, because visuals and listening, the more motor skills that we use, the more that we're able to retain the information, right? So I'm going to, let's see. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Here we go. So, what is self-love, right? we take time to get ourselves looking somewhat spiffy, right, in the mornings. And, we feel like we're doing a good job. We feel like we're doing a good job. We get up in the mornings, take time to check our checks and balances to make sure that we are looking our best, make sure that we are giving ourselves the thumbs up, right? And this is important. This is important to check yourself, love on yourself, look in the mirror. I'm always talking about saying your affirmations and doing the things, right? But here's the things. Here's the thing. It goes way past the mirror. It goes way past just looking at yourself in the mirror, guys. It goes way past saying I love you to ourselves, but are we really believing the thing? Are we really taking time to understand who we are? Right? I have been on this road, this self-love journey for many years. And one of the things I can tell you that has always worked for me is consistency. Consistency is currency. And the more you take time to show up for yourself, the more that you take time to love on yourself, you will not only see a difference in your life, you'll also see a difference in how people treat you. Yes, how people treat you. Because I tell you something. The way you show up for yourself, it spills out into your business, it spills out into your relationships. So you thinking that, oh, well, I'm doing a selfless act by loving on everybody else and taking care of everybody else, but not taking care of myself. You're doing yourself a misjustice, a disjustice, right? You are worthy of love just because you exist. I'm going to repeat that. You are worthy of love just because you exist. You don't have to be perfect to deserve kindness, guys. A lot of times we experience trauma in our life. We have experienced discord, right? Which will have us thinking that we are not deserving. And that is so far from the truth. It's so far from the truth. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of compassion. And most important, you are worthy of loving yourself. Self-love is choosing yourself every single day. Not yesterday, not next week, not next month. You know how oh, well, I have a hard month right now, and let me hurry up and do everything I have to do. And then next month, I'm going to dedicate the whole 2 weeks to myself. I'm going to relax. I'm going to go to the spa, and I'm going to do all the things, right? Like almost like you're rushing, like you're shoving your ability to love on yourself. Like it's not necessary. Like it's second fiddle. And here's the thing. When I was working a physical job, I used to be the number one candidate of what I just explained. I would work, 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 work. I would run around, do all the things for my family, friends, just showing up for everybody else. And then I would say to myself, oh, I have these designated moments when I would show up in my best light, right? See this fly? Oh, God. This would leave me resenting not only the things that I was doing for other people, it had me resenting myself. It had me resenting the days that I was in. I started doing things begrudgingly. I wasn't doing things from a full heart because I wasn't giving myself a love. I wasn't showing up for myself. How can you serve anyone? How can you be of good fruit to anyone when you are not being good fruit to yourself? If your cup is empty, you cannot fill somebody else's cup, guys. Right? So why struggle? Why struggle? Why struggle with, why do we struggle with this, right? Why do we struggle with self-worth? Why do we struggle with the fact, are we worthy or not, right? Why do we think that we have to be perfect in order to deserve kindness, right? When self-love is all about choosing yourself every single day, right? We struggle with our thoughts. We struggle with our internal feelings. Many people look for love and happiness outside themselves instead of finding it within, right? This is a major problem that I believe that many people struggle, especially women. We are always loving on others. We are always feeding everybody else. Our bodies are built to nourish someone else. Like, literally, just think about that. Let's just sit with that for a minute. Our bodies are created to take care of somebody else. Like, we were built to take care of somebody else. But this is the thing. I truly believe that the relationship that you have with the Creator God allows you to understand that although, yes, you were given this gift of creation, and this is why it's even more important for you to be in communion with the Creator God, because then and only then will you truly understand your purpose, right? So let me show you this. Let me show you this right here. Let's move to this camera. Hold on now. Hold on. Okay, wait. Okay. Okay. So imagine this. Let's see. Should we let's use purple. Let's use purple. I hope it's coming up on this light. Okay. We're gonna make it do what we do. Imagine this is you right here, right? This is you right here. And you find yourself reaching out to everybody else in your life, reaching out to your friends, reaching out for love, right? Trying to see who is going to give you what you need in this lifetime, right? You are always asking everybody else, how do I look? How do I feel? You're always finding relationships or looking for relationships outside of yourself. You're always needing to be validated by somebody else, right? Now, what about if you can show up for yourself, feel good about yourself, and then start to experience, right, a transformation. That's not what I wanted to draw. Start to experience a transformation of love. Start to imagine that you actually love yourself, right? You actually put in the work where you can now be this person, right? You can now be this person right here, right? This arrow. That's the perfectionist in me. Okay. You now can be this person. This is you, right? But this person over here, right? The one who's always looking for love outside of herself. What about coming from here to here? How can we do that? How can we come from here and move ourselves to here? Allowing self-love to appear. How can we get to this point? How can we get from asking others to love us, asking others to show us mercy, giving us love and validation? How can we get from this space to loving on ourselves? Let's give her some hair, girl. Okay? This one too. Right? How can we get to this point? How can we get to this point, guys? I believe the only way that we can start experiencing love for ourselves is by doing the work, showing up for ourselves, doing the things that is going to allow us to benefit from a life of happiness. Because let me tell you something, guys, until you get to a point where you are okay with loving on yourself and not needing validation for somebody else, you're going to always find yourself unhappy. You're going to always find yourself questioning your existence, questioning why God. You know how we come up to God, if only you can send me somebody that's going to love me, a knight in shining armor. I remember a season in my life, and I just got out of a divorce. I was feeling very broken hearted, just bowed down. And it's just so funny how the mind will trick you into thinking that the only way that you're going to feel whole, the only way that you're going to feel happy is by being in somebody else's arms, right? Becoming that person where, okay, I'm validated when somebody else says I'm beautiful. I'm validated when somebody else says they love me. I'm validated when somebody else pick me, right? And anybody that's been through any type of loss of any type of relationship, you know the pains that come with that, right? You can feel empty, you can feel lost, right? But I'm here to tell you, right? God knew you. He formed you. He knew everything that was going to happen in your life before any trauma transpired. And now I know you might be saying, well, if he, like, how could he let this happen to me? I'm not going to get into the phonetics, but I know one thing. We are quick to say, how come God lets things happen? What we don't ever focus on is how God was with us through the whole thing, how God was with us through the thick and thin of it, right? This is not. Let me tell you something. That right there is something that no one could ever understand. And here's why. Because we live in a cynical world. We live in a world that says that unless we are, how can I say, how, unless we're picked, unless we haven't, how can I say, unless we haven't experienced certain things, we start to think that we're not worthy. We're not worthy of love, right? We think we're not enough, not pretty enough, smart enough, or successful enough. We forget that our worth comes from inside and not outside. You can't pour from an empty cup. Fill yourself first, guys. Fill your cup up first. The spring is coming. And for those who have children, you already know graduation and all the things are coming up. There's so many, if you're blessed to be entertaining in any type of way, it's so many different ways that you're being pulled. And you wonder why you feel drained. You wonder why life is not as bright as it used to be. It's because you are working from an empty cup. What happens when you don't love yourself? What happens? Right? What happens, there's something called a ripple effect. When you don't love yourself, it affects everything in your life. When you don't love yourself, it shows up in your body, it shows up in your relationships, it shows up in your career, and the list just goes on and on and on. And here you are just pushing harder and harder when it doesn't have to be so hard. God did not create you to push in the way that you've been pushing. Like, everything is not a labor pain, guys. Right? When you are sad, right? Let me just push this over here because my camera, I don't know, and I don't want to move my... Okay, here we go. When you are sad, how does this make you feel? Does this make you feel happy? Does this make you feel secure? Does it make you feel like a winner? No, it does not. It makes you feel like life is feeling pointless. Like, what's the point? What's the point? What's the point of working so hard? What's the point of moving forward? What's the point of creating any excuse me, anything? And the point is, God wants you to have a relationship with him. That's what the point is. The point is the point is you choosing yourself first. A lot of times I find that women are scared. The women I work with, one of the things that I notice that they have in common is fear. Fear of saying no. Fear in choosing themselves first. It's almost like they feel like they need a to produce some type of self-sacrifice. Who said that that was your job? If I'm not mistaken, Jesus already did that. So you thinking a lot of yourself what the second coming? I don't think so. Okay? Fear and worry, self-doubt are labeled. Labels that we have accumulated over the years, labels that for some reason we don't allow ourselves to think that we deserve more. And I personally believe one of the reasons why that one of the reasons why people are inflicted with those thoughts and those fears is because they're not meditating, they're not practicing self-love, they're not practicing mindfulness. Because let me tell you something, when you sit with yourself and you commune with God and you take time out to sit with yourself without a phone, yep, without a phone, with no distractions, and just allow yourself to breathe. Breathe into your mind. Allow those thoughts to come and allow those thoughts to go. Right? Because you expect less than you deserve in relationships. You feel tired and empty all the time. You say yes to everyone else, but no to yourself. You doubt yourself and your dreams. What is that doing? You doubting yourself and your dreams. You know, I remember when I was struggling. I was in a season in my life when I was struggling, guys. I was struggling with anxiety. I was struggling. I was in captivity in my mind, right? And through therapy, prayer, self-development, did I come to realize that these thoughts they're just thoughts. They're just thoughts. Thoughts are not necessarily real. It's thoughts that over the years that I've picked up and really believed that these thoughts were part of me. It was my identity. At least that's what I thought. It wasn't until I started to slow down, give myself what I needed when I needed it, that I slowly but surely started to hear the slow whispers of God's voice in my heart. But I wasn't able to do that when I was running around, jumping around, hoops, going, saying yes to this person, afraid to say no to that person. It wasn't until I stood up for myself and made time for myself that I realized that I had the ability to move forward and be more than I was allowing myself to be. And you, my friends, you have that same capability. Until you allow yourself to pull up, to allow yourself to love, to allow yourself to conquer those fears and move forward and stay fast, move forward when everything is telling you to move backwards, right? Because every single time you allow those thoughts, every single time when you allow your dreams to go down, what you are telling yourself, what you are telling the universe, what you are showing God is that you are not faithful. You're not faithful to yourself, and you're definitely not faithful to your dreams. And yes, God is going to give you what you need. He feeds the birds. He feeds the plants and the trees. They grow every season. But you were designed to have more. You were designed for something bigger. So here's the truth. How you treat yourself shows others how to treat you. I'm going to repeat that. How you treat yourself, sweetheart, you are showing others how to treat you. You know, a lot of times we find ourselves in these relationships and then they turn rogue, right? And now I'm not saying that every single time, because people are people, and no matter how you hold yourself, there's always going to be somebody that tries it, right? But when you find yourself consistently receiving certain how can I say, interactions, right? That is usually something that you are pushing out into the universe. That is usually something that you are showing that you are accepted of, right? Because I kid you not, when you start to assert yourself, when you start to show up for yourself, those people are going to move past you. They're not going to want to take part in the things that you're doing, not because you're not worthy, not because you're not fantastic, because you are following your dreams, because you are steadfast and you're moving forward. And people like that can't mess with you. They usually go to the people where they assume that are weak. Right? The magic of self-love. What changes when you love yourself? There's something that happens when you start to take time and do your skincare, when you start to take time and go for your morning walks, put on your cute little outfit. Girl, it's about to be springtime. This is a time where you should be shining despite in what is your current circumstance. Oh, you might be saying, well, Elizabeth, I am too busy and I have so many things going on in my life. I don't have the luxury to frolic in the mornings because of my self love. Well, let me tell you something, sweetheart. Okay? Frolicking is something of medicine. You know, the great poets would go for walks for miles and miles. And when they would come back, they would have so much inspiration. They would have so many things, so many ideas, right? It's a known fact. A lot of times, people go, especially writers. I know for myself, I am a writer as well. Whenever I start to feel like a little stale, I just go for a walk. I go for a walk, and I kid you not, when I come back from that walk, I so many ideas. I feel so creative. I feel rejuvenated. The creator God designed us to move. Money loves movement. And when you're stagnant and you're not giving yourself what you need, and you're not giving yourself the energy to pour back into yourself, you become cloudy. And that's not what you want, right? That's not what you want. That's not what you was designed for. You was designed to be in the sun. You was designed to be in the light. You was designed to shine and prosper and show what God created. He exalts when you show up in a space of expectancy, right? Because when you get yourself together, when you pour back into yourself and you come out into the world, you have a level of expectance, right? You have a level of, wow, I expect something good today to happen to me. I expect a blessing to come. I wonder who I'm going to meet today. I wonder what I'm going to learn today. I wonder how much I'm going to be able to achieve today, right? And usually when a woman take time and pours into herself, something happens to her internally. You start to birth a new life. You start to birth a willingness of love and compassion for the world, right? This is why women are so beautiful. This is why they want to be us, right? Because women are special. I mean, we all are special, but hindsight, God picked us to multiply the world. And yes, one would say, well, without this, you can't have. Listen, we are housing, right? We are birthing, right? We are the closest things to God. And your ideas, your ability to create, your ability to start that business, your ability to invest in that property, your ability to expand your ideas. This is something that is natural to you, and you're not going to be able to understand and unlock those gifts if you don't pour back into yourself. And that is a fact. Right? Pouring into yourself and hugging yourself and just loving on yourself, guys. It may feel funny in the beginning. I remember when I started this practice, I was like, okay. But one day I was practicing yoga and I was in a child pose, if you know what child pose is. And I sat back up and I allowed myself to sit up, but have my like I was in a fetus position, but I was sitting. And I just put my arms around my knees and I just held myself really tight. It felt so good. Because when how you treat you, how you pose, and how you the different ways you move your hands, the different ways you move your body, you send different signals to your brain. This is why there's something called mudras, where you do different hand poses. They're all supposed to mean something. This is a powerful act. This is something that's been going on for centuries and centuries and centuries, because they knew. They started to record what happens when you do certain things consistently, right? When you say your affirmations, when you're doing your makeup, when you're doing your skincare, and you look into the mirror and you say and you pour back into yourself, if you do this consistently, you start to become something new. A beautiful flower is unfolded. Your confidence start to erupt. You start to believe in yourself, right? You start to attract better relationships, people who truly value you. You have more energy because you're not exhausted trying to please everyone else when you start this journey, right? Because you start to understand the phonetics of things. You start to realize, okay, well, in the mornings, I journal, I move my body, I do my skincare, I put on my face, for those who put on, wear makeup, and get myself together, I feel good. I know for me, instantly, once I do those things, I feel good. Once I pour back into myself, I feel God just pouring over me. I feel God pouring into the situation that I am working so hard to achieve. You deserve this. You deserve to be fruitful, right? You pursue your dreams because you believe you deserve them. That's why you're pursuing your dreams, because you believe that you deserve it, right? You start to set healthy boundaries. You protect your peace when you are practicing self-love. You start to claim all these different tactics that will allow you to move further and further in your life. The moment you decide to love yourself unconsciously, everything changes. The moment you start to love yourself unconditionally, everything changes, right? So how to start loving yourself today, right? Number one, talk. I was going to say take. I'm moving ahead of myself. Number one, talk to yourself kindly, right? Talk to yourself. Those thoughts that I mentioned, and you succumbing to those thoughts, right? Talk to yourself kindly. Would you say mean things to your best friend? Then don't say them to yourself. If you wouldn't say it to your best friend, if you wouldn't say it to someone that you truly care about, don't say it to yourself. Don't say it to yourself. Because you are the number one factor. Number two, set boundaries. It's okay to say no to things that drain you. That's people, that's situations, places, things, whatever. Because let me tell you something, when you find yourself on this journey, what starts to happen, you start to attract a different type of energy. And it's going to make those around you, some will be happy for your newfound love, and some will feel intimidated and start to want to bring you back into a space that they are comfortable with you being in. And it is your responsibility to say, no, no, I'm sorry, I can't make this meeting. No, I'm sorry. You don't even have to say sorry. No, this is not going to, it's not going to work out for me. No, this doesn't work for me. No, I'm not going to be able to do it. No, I don't want to. That's it. Number 3, do things that make you happy. Dance, read, create, rest, whatever fills your cup. Guys, let me tell you something. I love a good dance party, okay? I love a good dance party. One of the favorite things that and I'm going to share this with you guys because you know what? We're girlies, and I feel that you would love this too, especially my girlies that love to move their bodies and do the yoga and do the things. And you already know the Lululemon, not sponsored, but open to it. You know, look cute, get sexy. It's a vibe, right? Put on your cute little outfit, get on your yoga mat, do your flow, and after, dance, move your body, feel yourself, feel good in your body. Listen, this is one life that you're living. And especially if you're in your 50s, 60s, 70s, and dare I say beyond, this is the moment to celebrate. The fact that you can move your body and feel good in yourself and in your mind, excuse me, that in itself is a gift from God, right? So do the things, read the books. Right now, I have so many books in my Kindle. I'm like between 3 books. It's to the point, and be sure to subscribe to my vlog channel because I'm going to be sharing some of my favorite books that I have been reading through 2026 already. I've been devouring books, okay? If I tell you, like, it's to the point where I'm like reading in rotation 3 books at a time. I love to read. I am a Gemini. I love to learn, 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 learn. It's the Mercury in me. Nonetheless, to say I'm a Virgo moon, so there you go, okay? I love to consume information, but good information, because one of the things that I realize, and I believe that a lot of people that, because I wasn't a person that always liked to read, right? I struggled in school, and that was something that was hard for me, and I didn't realize that I was dealing with dyslexia at the time. They didn't have these words. They didn't have all of these nuances. This is this person learned like this. It was none of that, and you were made to feel stupid if you did not follow the yellow brick road and you didn't learn like everybody else. And I don't even want to tell you how that made me feel. It made me feel not smart. It made me feel not smart. I felt like something was wrong with me for a very long time. And come to find out, I'm a genius. Okay. Okay. Because I can't tell you how much I love to read. It's uncanny. If I would have told the young version of myself that one day you was going to love to read and you would be reading like for fun, like rather than watching television, I wouldn't have believed me. I wouldn't have believed me. So find what works for you, right? Find what works for you, because a lot of times these are all building blocks, right? These are building blocks. You may want to learn how to play an instrument, learn how to maybe take a dance class, maybe start Tai Chi. Tai Chi is really good for those who may not want to practice yoga. Tai Chi is really good for the body, especially when you are going through menopause or premenopausal, because it's a soft workout but very effective, right? Number 4. This is a big one. This is a big one. because I find that a lot of people struggle with this one, which is forgive yourself. Yes, forgive yourself. Forgive yourself, and the mistakes don't make you bad. Your mistakes don't make you a bad person. We all make mistakes. Even for those who go and look at the podcast at Elizabeth Magical Garden podcast, when I was doing some of the drawing, you see me erasing. Like, it's something that we learned when we're younger, especially in school, right? You want to be perfect. You want everything to be perfect. And I feel like because they put erasers on things, it kind of like it's an addiction, right? Okay, let me do it over. Let me try one more time. I just want to perfect it. While it's better to allow yourself to go through the process and understanding that you have to do it ugly before you do it pretty, right? So forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for the mistakes that you have made, because why? You're human. Number 5, celebrate. Celebrate your wins. Even the small ones count, right? Even the small ones count. This is my, I used to go live a while ago, and I haven't gone live for a very long time. So coming here, I was so excited. And immediately I had this thought, like, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this. And I said to myself, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to allow myself to show up the best way and trust that the message that I have is most important. Everything else is extra. It's always about the message, right? Choosing yourself daily is top tier, guys. Every morning, decide you matter. Every morning. Every morning. No matter what and how you are feeling, no matter what the day is looking ahead, choose you first. Because if your cup is not full, you are no good to anybody else. Everything that you do is going to just, number one, you're going to begrudge it. You're going to feel anxious. You're going to you're going to be in a headspace where you're no good to yourself and you're no good to others. So choose yourself first. And it should start as soon as you wake up. Right? Number 6. This is another one. Being brave. Yes, bravery. Bravery. You have to allow yourself to dig deep, because you are a brave person. I believe that you have the ability to change and shapeshift. But as long as you stand in your own way, you are not allowing yourself to expand and be in your full potential. Being brave will allow you to do that. It's not to say that you are not going to be afraid, right? That's why they call it brave, right? Being brave doesn't mean you're never scared, right? Of course you are, right? I remember when I was going for my cosmetology license, and this was in a space and time in my life when everything was haywire, right? So of course I throw something else in the mix, but with that being said, I was already working a full-time job. I would have maybe 45 minutes to get on to get out of work, head on over, get on the train, go to school, change my clothes, get to the class, have all my gear. And anyone that has ever went to cosmetology school, you know that bag is heavy. Yes, we have lockers, but you know what I'm talking about. Those mannequin heads standing for 4 hours at a time, doing the things. Now, yes, I was a little younger. Not that younger. Well, yeah, I was younger. It was like what? Around, I would say 2012. So yeah, I was I was a little younger. And it was rough. It was rough, but I did it and I achieved my goal. I was able to not only finish on time, I passed my tests, right? And I was able to get my license. If I would had submitted to what was happening in my life in that current space and time in my life, if I would have allowed myself to fall and just bury myself in my thoughts, I would have never been able to climb that mountain, right? Imagine uh, Nelson Mandela when they threw him in prison. He was in a box. He didn't have any room. I think I don't remember the feet, but he had enough room to stretch out his arm, to stretch out his legs, and like just basically do push-ups and calisthenics. And that's what he did while he was in there. And he was in there, I believe, I want to say for 20 years. I know it was a while. It was a long time, right? 20, 30 years or more. He was in there for a very long time. He could have gave up. He could have shriveled up. He was already an older man. He could have allowed his present circumstance to defeat him. He could have allowed his brain to go. But no. He forced himself to stay put. He made a decision to move forward anyway. And what happened? Because all the work that he did behind the scenes when no one was looking, well, we already know, for those who don't know, he became the president of the country. I love one of his quotes. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. You will feel scared. That's normal. You will have hard days. That's part of growth. You will make mistakes. That's how you learn. But here's the thing. Do it anyway. Take the next step. Even when you're afraid. Right? Even when you're afraid. Right? Because when you do that, that is an act of self-love. What you start to experience is joy, peace, confidence. You start to dream. You start to feel, you become something new because why? You did not give up. You moved forward anyway, despite the thoughts, despite the depression, despite the anxiety, despite where you are financially, despite of what you've been told, who you were, or what you did in the past, despite of all the mistakes that you've done in the past, despite of all the abuse that you have consumed over the years, you moved forward anyway. You are worthy right now exactly as you are. You are enough. You don't need to prove anything, okay? You don't need to prove anything. You are deeply loved. You are deeply loved. And it starts with loving you. Healing isn't linear. 2 steps forward, 3 steps back is still progress. You deserve to choose yourself today and every day. So here is a daily affirmation that I believe that will put you on a path of success. Here it goes. I choose myself today. I am worthy. I am enough. I am deeply loved, and I am going to treat myself with kindness I deserve. It takes one step. Today, take an action. Choose yourself. So your challenge today, whether it's in the morning, whether it's in the evening, look in the mirror and say, I love you, to yourself. Write down 3 things you appreciate about yourself. Do one thing today just for you, something that makes you smile. Guys, share your journey using the hashtag #ChooseYourselfDaily in the comments down below. I believe that you have what it takes. I believe anybody under the sound of my voice, this is not a mistake. This is something that was an assignment for you. And remember, you don't have to do this alone. Join the community, subscribe to this YouTube channel, subscribe, and hit that bell so you'll be notified every time I upload a video. I definitely will be going live on Wednesdays now. So join the community of women choosing themselves every single day. Ready to go deeper, guys, with me? Visit www.elizabethmagicalgarden.com. I am creating something phenomenal, and you want to be part of this journey. So sign up at my email list. I will be creating your personal 90-day transformation blueprint. I cannot wait to work with you guys. Guys, this is a journey that I've been working on for the last 2 years. Okay, so you're going to want to stay tuned for that. So sign up to the email list so you can be privy, because everybody on that side, whenever I have something coming up, whenever I'm going live, they're the first ones to know. Okay, so be sure to do that. Guys, stay blessed, stay in peace, and stay empowered. Peace.